Welcome back, YouTubers, to another very laid-back Q&A with us, the British Fist. This dynamic duo composed of Mr. Parkin and this guy sitting next to me is glaring to and from in this video. It's none other than NJ.
What's up?
AKA the most over guy in the YWC. Subscribe above, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have on the questions you've answered down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the links in the description box below.
Yes, indeed. And keep sending us questions through the links in the description box below by YouTube inbox or indeed commenting down below or facebook.com/British Fist. Keep sending in your questions. We're getting ever closer to that magical number 52. And please be patient if your questions haven't been answered yet. We will get to them as soon as we can, won't we, NJ?
Oh, we will indeed.
Yes, anyway, we'll start off Q&A number 49 with a question from Nathan Nerdmage. He asked us 3 questions. I did that there when I meant that. Botched by me on that part. Do you think that WWE will hint in any way on the May 7th edition of Raw, the 10-year anniversary of WWF changing to WWE? No. Why
it's
would
a
they do
big
that?
thing, but I just don't see them thinking, oh, that'd be a good thing to mention. I think they'll just let it come, be at Raw, and just move on.
Exactly. Why would they want to mention WWF when back then it was a lot better and the change to WWE kind of hindered the company a lot? So I don't see them mentioning it, even though it is a big part of history, the 10-year anniversary of changing it from World Wrestling Federation to the WWE. So I just don't think Vince for a minute will mention it, just because it reminds people of how much better WWF was.
That's true.
Do you think that Raw should change its damn theme song, possibly back to Thorn in Your Eye or Across the Nation? I must admit, I always liked Across the Nation. But in this PG era, we're not going to get music like that. So we're going to be sticking to shit like Nickelback, some mainstream bullshit, aren't we? Because that's what Vince wants. He wants acceptance from the mainstream, brother.
I think for the theme tune changing, there should be like a reason to change as they step into a new thing. Maybe when Lamanize things might think, oh yeah, let's change the theme. So maybe it'll be an idea in the near future.
Change it to an Oasis song. That will really please me anyway. But I do think the themes are very mainstream, but when in the PG era, they're kind of going to be like that. I mean, like, got Green Day. My favourite band, don't get me wrong, but Green Day as a SmackDown theme, Do you know what I mean?
I'm just wondering what they're going to change it to, because it is possibly going to happen.
Hopefully it will. Here's an interesting question for you, NJ. I've always wondered, since NJ wears that necklace in every video, and you do, it's right there, does it have some special meaning? Now, is this the kind of question you want to disclose on this Q&A, NJ?
People, a while back, I lost someone really important to me, and as soon as this person sadly left, I got this in remembrance of her.
Okay, shall we move on for that then?
Let's move on.
Right, sure. Ewan Stars, would you like to see Kane have a match with... Sorry, I botched that again. Who would you like to see Kane have a match with in his last match in the WWE? I'm botching all over the place here on this Q&A. Your favourite guy, so you decide.
Well, there's one person I would think would be great because of the way he came into WWE. It's the same way he goes out, and that's none other than going up against his brother, the Phenom, the Dead Man, the Undertaker.
And it would be quite fitting, wouldn't it, if they did have Kane go out the same way he came in. He came in because of the Undertaker gimmick, and he's going to be going out because of the Undertaker gimmick. Whether Undertaker will be around at the time to actually do this, who knows, because I think Kane will be around a lot longer than Undertaker. But I think Undertaker would be a great last match for Kane. Maybe even use that to end Taker's career as well. Who really knows?
Could be an interesting way to do it, yes.
A couple of questions here from Stuart Maggs. Stuart Maggs. What do you think about the WWE's emphasis on bringing in new stars? Well, the first response to this was, what emphasis? But then I realised they brought in guys from FCW this year, like Cesaro, possibly Dean Ambrose, Ryback, Damian Sandow, Abraham Washington. So they are bringing in some new stars. Just a shame that they're not stars yet, but they're new guys in the scene, which refreshes up SmackDown a little bit.
That's very true. You said one key word in your question. New stars, not old stars. They concentrate on the new stars because obviously with people eventually leaving, with people moving on, doing other things, we're going to need new talent to come in, fill up the missing places in different divisions, especially the main event. So with these new talent coming in, making impact, making a name for themselves, going to where they should be in the WWE is definitely something really good for the future of the WWE.
And hopefully we will see that. But we've seen by Vincent Man that he is very short-term orientated now with the way the business is going, bringing in guys like The Rock and Brock Lesnar. I think the question is, will these stars be able to shine when they really should be able to? And I hope they do, because they've got some real talents from what I've seen down in FCW. They've got Cesaro, a great talent. Dean Ambrose, another great talent. Ryback could be a massive guy for the WWE if they push him right. They've got some really good talents down there. I just hope they don't drop the ball with them. That's what I hope.
That's the thing you need to look at, because these talents may be coming in, being put over, but then suddenly it drops and it goes incredibly wrong. So let's just hope that they have ideas for the future of these wrestlers, unlike Brodus Clay.
Oh yeah, don't go wrong, Brodus Clay. Who do you think out of the new and returning, except Brock Lesnar has, he will most certainly make an impact, will make the biggest? Damien Sandow, Alberto Del Rio, Ryback, Lord Tensai. The new and returning superstars, who do you think will make the biggest impact out of the people?
Feed me more!
Oh, you talking about Ryback?
Oh,
I think Ryback, yeah, I mean, you've got a good one there, because they're obviously setting him up on this kind of undefeated monster, you know, feed me more streak kind of thing. So I think the way Vince McMahon loves this guy, he really wants to push him. There's no reason why Ryback couldn't have the biggest impact. I mean, Del Rio could make a big impact, just not as big as as Ryback, as he has more of a newer superstar. I think, personally, if they bring through Dean Ambrose, he could make a massive impact. But that's just me.
We'll have to see what he does when he comes in.
If he comes in, that is. WWE, please make him feud with Mick Foley. It would be awesome. I would pay to see that match. The Renegade 102. If the WWE network fails, what impact will it have on WWE? Will they brush it off, be heavily damaged, or will it be the end of the company? I think it will hurt their finances big time, because they're going to have to put a lot of money into this. And if it fails, that's just money gone down the drain.
Well, look at this. And WWE have told us so much about it, gave us ideas, gave the future of it. So if it does come in and it fails, then I think it is going to impact the fans who have been wanting to see it, and the company itself put the money into it. So I wouldn't say it's like the end of the company. No. I think it's just going to be damaging the money-wise and maybe future-wise with other future ideas.
Like, put it this way. Sorry to interrupt you there, MJ, but just put it this way. If the network doesn't work, then expect a couple more releases. That's all I'll say on that one. Because if they pump so much money into this that if it doesn't work, then they're gonna have to fight. They're gonna have to cut money elsewhere, because or else it's just going to really affect their income and their profit and turnover. But there we go. That's business for you guys. iTod455. I think that's iRod455. I don't know whether I typed that in wrong or something, but there we go. iRod455. I'm assuming that is. Do you think world titles should be defended once, or perhaps on the major pay-per-views to give them more prestige and credibility to them? Kind of like in football, you're defending champion for a whole year until the Super Bowl. Should the WWE Championship be up for grabs at WrestleMania only? No, I think they do need. I think you need to. People pay for the pay-per-view, so you do need to give them something to pay for, and one of those things is championship matches. They should be wanting to pay for championship matches, so it should be at every pay-per-view, really.
As big as the two titles should be, they're not as big as they were, so I think with them now having many pay-per-views a year, they do need to have something big to main event the feuds. It should be the title in some cases, so I think having them once a year is a bit bad for the build, so I think they should just continue as they are.
Well, let's put it this way, MJ. If you let's say you had someone, you're guaranteed a year title reign if you win the title at WrestleMania, and then if you win or lose, then it just really wouldn't work, would it? I do understand what iRod is saying there, though, in the sense that it would give them more prestige if they were defended a bit less, but I think that WWE want to bring in pay-per-view buys, and one of the ways they do it is through big title matches at pay-per-views, even if they are filler pay-per-views.
And the sickening thing is, if they did do it once a year, when Cena comes to champ, that's a year of moaning.
But that's very entertaining. So that people might prefer that, because they're entertained by your hatred of John Cena. Didn't look at it that way, did you? From a entertainment business standpoint, like I do.
Okay.
Do you want to move on?
Move on.
The Real Heel. That's one of the best names I've seen. We get some really good names. I said this in the last screen. We get some really good names in this. Okay. The Real Heel. Who do you think is the most overrated wrestler of all time? Kevin Nash. I think Kevin Nash is the most overrated wrestler of all time. I just do. He was the lowest drawing champion in WWE. I understand the guy was big, but to me, he's just massively overrated. I've never liked him. I also thought when King Booker was around, he was overrated, and so was JBL personally. But that's because I didn't like the characters too much.
Well, he's a big name in NWO, so I give him that. But the thing is, when he came out of the NWO, he didn't really have a lot there for him. Yes, he was going to get big names, but still nothing exciting. No big matches that we say that was match of the year, match of the moment, all stuff like that. So Kevin Nash.
Indeed. No other suggestions, just Kevin Nash?
Just Kevin Nash, because there are the rest that I can't stand.
John Cena.
But
or Nash. You can't see them. Go on, carry on, sorry.
I don't want to know.
Oh, fair enough. All right, fair enough. Who do you think will be a top star in WWE in 5 years' time? CM Punk.
I'm going to say all the Q&As.
Yeah, I mean, there are some guys who you could see as future stars, like Ryback, for example. Santino could be a future mid-carder, but there we go.
Yes.
I do think Ryback could be a big star if they push him correctly. He has got that kind of look that Vince McMahon really likes. I think Sheamus could be a top star in 5 years' time. What about a guy like Dean Ambrose could be a star? Cody Rhodes. Oh yeah, I forgot about Cody Rhodes. How could I forget about Cody Rhodes? The Cody Rhodes mark forgets about Cody Rhodes. Thank you for reminding me, NJ. And there we go. So Cody Rhodes could be a top star for WWE in 5 years, as told to you by NJ. And so could Wade Barrett. You should just shout your answer out.
I should do, yes.
Yeah, Wade Barrett, brother.
Wade Barrett!
Yes, definitely. Wade Barrett, the Barrett Barrage is coming to you in 5 years' time. 17A Harris. What wrestler would you want to be trained by? Go on, NJ.
Shawn Michaels, Icon, the new Heartbreak Kid, the showstopper, the Icon. Yes.
But you're already the Heartbreak Kid, the showstopper, and the Icon. You don't need the training. You've already got it. You've already done it.
Then I'll just come in and say to every wrestler, "You're next."
Yeah, and do you know who I would be trained by? NJ, I think I do know what I'm going to say here. I would so get trained by AJ just because it would give me a great chance to meet up with her, get to know her a little bit, and work some wrestling moves with her. I'd be like a lot of hammerlocks, a lot of mounting maneuvers and stuff. I'd really learn a lot from AJ, I think, and yeah, it'd be a nice date as well, I think.
Oh, it would indeed. It'd be a great moment, yes.
AJ, I love you. The Paguna comes first. 2 weeks ago, Rock said he wanted to be WWE champ again. Would you like to see it or not? Would it be good or bad to put the belt on the Rock?
Well, this is my opinion. If they do it before WrestleMania, let's say they give him another big pay-per-view, and then they have him defend the title against someone at WrestleMania, like the Royal Rumble winner, and then the Royal Rumble winner gets the win, then that would be a huge, big moment, I think. So I would like the idea if it goes that way.
I personally think you should bring a guy like The Rock in for like big drawing matches. I think that's what guys like Rock are good for. I think I've always been a believer that you should leave the title matches for the guys that are fully 24/7, 365 days a year, going to be in the company and contracted with the company. I don't think it would be a good idea, even though it would give the belt a lot more prestige. To put the belt on a guy like Rock, in my opinion, just wouldn't really, especially seeing as he's not there every week, would not really help the current talent. As it's just like, well, this guy's come in, is much better than you, and he's going to be winning the belt while you guys just fight over feuds.
But then again, the people who get to face The Rock, the people who get to beat The Rock, it will do really big for them. So in a way, giving the title to someone as big as The Rock would do something good for the other talent.
Yeah, but I just don't think they would make anyone beat him, though. That's the thing.
We'll see.
We will see, indeed, if it does happen, because he does want to go after the WWE Championship, and we'll have to see what happens to that one, guys. I'm thinking Rock versus Brock at WrestleMania 29, but there we go. Howard the Man. This is an interesting question. If the Cenation had a heel stable, who would you put in it? So if John Cena led a heel, I guess a heel stable, the Cenation, who would be in it? I would say the first person to be in it would be a heel Zack Ryder. How about that in the Cenation? Any suggestions, NJ, or am I going to be doing this one by myself?
Who would want to team up with Cena? Who looks at Cena and thinks, he's not overrated, he's not taking my spotlight, I'm going to be best friends with him. Who would think that?
Hornswoggle. He's definitely bigger than him. Hornswoggle in a heel C-Nation faction.
So Ryder, Hornswoggle and Cena.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a real good faction to me. And let's face it, Zack Ryder needs the rub. There we go. I don't know. I mean, it's a very odd question, but I can see where you're coming from. It's very creative, but
there is one thing about this team.
Like
you won't see it.
No, you definitely won't see it. And that is a true statement there, NJ. Here comes herpes. Here comes herpes. Another great example of the creativeness of these guys on YouTube. If you could add anyone from the Indies to the WWE, who would it be? Specifically, I'm thinking ROH. Anyone from ROH, I mean, like Mike Bennett, you could add maybe Kevin Steen. If I'm looking at other independents, maybe Eddie Kingston from Shikara.
They say Indy, and the person that stands out in my mind in Indy is
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
He's Indy, is he?
Yes.
He's as indie as it gets, especially when he's the WWE champion.
He's already in it, so let's not name him.
They've already brought in a lot of indie talent like Claudio Castagnoli, who's Antonio Cesaro, John Moxley, who's Dean Ambrose. They've brought in Chris Hero, who is now Cassius Ohno. So they've already brought in a lot of indie guys who could be, who could do quite well in the WWE. No, don't. Oh no, I wouldn't bring it up. Okay. Not into the WWE where we're already ravaged with guys like Sin Cara, but there we go. So from the indies, there's not really many guys out there. Maybe you guys could suggest something because we're not regular indie viewers. We do watch. Sorry, NJ used to watch ROH. I do still watch ROH, but we don't know too much about other indie scenes. So you tell us what people you would add. And the final 3 questions we will get from John Reed. Do you think Test would have been ECW champion if he hadn't have died?
I think they would have put a belt on Test, because obviously the big name he was, but ECW I don't really care about.
To be honest, ECW was an undercard belt, so yeah, why not give it to Test? He wasn't really that talented anyway, in my opinion. I don't like speaking ill of the dead, but I'm just being honest here, NJ. He wasn't really that talented, I didn't think. And he was kind of like Kevin Nash, very overrated, tall guy. Do you think Umaga would have been a world champion if he hadn't have died? Funny how I said Umaga, like William Regal used to. And the Samoan Spike was awesome. No, I don't think he ever would have been world champion because he always came up against guys like John Cena, who WWE were always going to push more than him. He was more of a complementary piece than anything, wasn't he?
Well, with him, he was in the main event thing, using a dominant force, and to give him a short run would have been good for him, like a month or 2, just so he's had the targets of how big and dominant and how well he was used with Vince McMahon. It would have been good, but I don't see him done that. The best thing he got probably would have been the other belts before.
The IC in the US or whatever.
Sadly, yes.
But I mean, like I said, he was a great talent and a great heel, but just never saw him winning the big one, ever winning it and really being a standout. But there we go. Do you think MVP should return to WWE? And if so, would you like to see him with the world title? I think I would like to see MVP in the WWE again. I liked MVP. But whether I wouldn't really want to see him win a world title, I'm not sure he's kind of like that good. And their chance to do it was before he got released. And
well, the way I see it is, yes, before he got released was good, but if they kept him in, or if they do bring him back and keep booking him back up, I could quite simply, or possibly see, them to WWE giving him a chance in the main event again, winning it, if it was Money in the Bank, but not otherwise than that.
No, I don't see that either. And the last question we got given here was, what do you think is the worst Mania match for reasons other than the match itself? For me, it's Mysterio or an Angle for the World Championship at 22 because it should have gotten more time. I mean, it was a triple threat match and wasn't no DQ. Thoughts? For me, it's got to be Lesnar versus Goldberg. I know the match was shit, but the build was fantastic. You had 2 big guys, and then you found out they were going to be leaving the company, both of them, and then they put on that abortion of a match at WrestleMania 20. That to me has got to be the worst Mania match, other than the reasons. Other than the match reasons, they were both leaving, for fuck's sake, afterwards.
That's very true. Very bad for the company, especially from the big names in the company itself.
What about Brett versus Vince?
That's what I was thinking, because I just can't stand. Vince McMahon's had other big WrestleMania matches. Yes, this had importance because it was Bret Hart getting his revenge, because he got friendship with Shawn Michaels again and nothing with Vince. But this match was just appalling.
It was, yeah. And the build was very good. I mean, they played a lot on their history, and it was a very well built feud. It's just a shame that when it came to it, all Brett could do was hit Vince McMahon with a chair and kind of, the match just wasn't very good. It really wasn't what it should have been. But there we go. That's another Q&A from us, the British Fist. One more time with a very quiet clutching indeed. Keep sending us your questions in via the YouTube inbox, comment section below, or via our Facebook, facebook.com/British Fist. And we do thank you for sending in your questions, and be patient for those of you who haven't had your questions answered yet. We will answer them as soon as we can.
Now, people, thank you very much for tuning in for the Q&A. This has been a good time answering your questions. Keep them coming, so we can answer a lot more. And I've got Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Thank you very much for this Q&A. And until next time, people, keep watching and goodbye.